Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Customs in Switzerland. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a 1:64 scale Hot Wheels 1974 Porsche 911 Turbo. The theme of most of my builds this fall is mail calls, and this one came in the post from Pops Reclamation Station. He's my hobby friend in Canada. Thanks, Lawrence. My favorite car, period. That package also had some great supplies in it like JB Weld and some tools. It also works out that the Diecast International Builders theme for this month is any Porsche. Can't say no to that invitation. The 911, or the Neunelfer in German, is a two-door, 2+2 high-performance rear-engine sports car introduced in September 1964 by Porsche of Stuttgart, Germany. It has a rear-mounted flat-six engine and originally a torsion bar suspension. The car has been continuously enhanced through the years, but the basic concept has remained unchanged. The engines were air-cooled until the introduction of the 996 series in 1998. I love that this one has a metal base, as many of the old Hot Wheels did. But that means that I had to cut out the axles with this disc attachment on my Dremel tool, and now I'm just opening up the channel, as you can see here, so that I can put a new axle and an upgraded set of Samed wheels in there when the time comes. Oh, it's the most beautiful car in the world, don't you agree? As a rule, I show you all of the steps in the restoration process in case you're new to the hobby and wanting to learn or pick up some tricks. In this video, I thought I would focus a little more closely on the chassis refurbishing because, again, I have the rare opportunity to work on a metal base. I started by decalking the nearly 50-year-old model in a kitchen and bathroom cleaner that's the local equivalent of Limeaway. When it came out, I sprayed it with some clean water. I then give it a once-over with the wire brush attachment like this. Then the abrasive wheel, or Scotch-Brite wheel, on high speed, 30 seconds. And it's already looking very nice and shiny and almost new. But I've got a couple steps to go. I'm going to give this one the Flitz treatment. It's a great metal polish, and it doesn't take very much. I just smear it all over only the bottom of the chassis. I'm not going to polish the inside that you won't see. I've switched to a buffing attachment now, set at the very lowest possible speed so as not to burn anything. In the first minute or so, it just turns into a black sludge, a little bit worrisome, but very quickly you'll see that the highlights come out, and with a rub-off by microfiber cloth, it's looking good. Old toothbrush takes some of the remaining flits out of the nooks and crannies, and look at that. Almost brand new. Certainly good enough to receive a Maple Leaf Customs channel logo on the bottom. Couldn't have been more than 10 minutes work, all told. The old windshield gets a similar treatment, although this time with a plastic polish or scratch remover. This is an interesting one piece with the interior and the front and back windshield glass attached along a weakening joint that I don't want to fiddle with too much. Came out looking great. That's my favorite silhouette right there. There's some good stuff coming up on my channel, continuing the mail call theme with the 63 Chevy 2 and all the way from Japan, a Mazda Savannah RX-7 Racing. Hope you'll be catching all of the videos. This week's community shout-out goes to Adam's Genius Garage, an avid follower of my channel, and Adam has contributed some castings, including a very rare London toy oil tanker that I did up a few months ago for the OPA tribute build. Thanks, Adam, for all your support. I'm leaving a link in the description so you guys can check out his channel in the UK. Thanks for doing that. The 911 has been raced extensively by private and factory teams in a variety of classes and is among the most successful competition cars. In the mid-70s, the naturally aspirated 911 Carrera RSR won world championship races, including Targa Florio and the 24 Hours of Daytona. The 911-derived 935 Turbo also won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1979. Porsche won the world championship for makes in 76, 77, 78, and 79 with 911-derived models. For the 1975 model year, Porsche introduced the first production turbocharged 911. Although called the 930 Turbo in Europe, it was marketed as the 930 Turbo Carrera in North America. The body shape incorporated wide wheel arches to accommodate the enormous 205 50R15 and 225 50R15 Pirelli P7 tires, and a large rear spoiler, often known as a whale tail, on the early cars. They were initially fitted with a 3.0-liter, 260-horsepower engine and 4-speed manual transmission. It'd be hard to find another car in the history of racing with a better pedigree. So I thought I'd finish with all the bare metal detail until this high-definition close-up revealed some horrible-looking flashing on the hood. So I take a fine-tooth metal file, looks like I'm going at it roughly there, as well as on these casting lines, but I go over the whole thing again with 0000 steel wool, and all the abrasions come out and it's looking pristine. It definitely needs a good degreasing now, as does every car at this stage. Be sure not to skip that. I use a hardware store spray can to save some money on my primers, and I have no complaints about the results I get. I thought I'd show you today in fast-forward detail the spray booth maintenance that you ought to do once a week. Every car or every 2 cars maximum for me. You could see all the dust and glitter that was flying around after Petra's pink Jeep job. I brush it out there with the airbrush. I'm just blowing away any extra stuff, replace a filter. In the mat, I even painted my turntable, which I do about once a month. And now I'm ready to apply a paint job on the 911 Turbo. I'm mixing up a Createx Wicked Colors Pearl Blue with a little balancing solution and some homemade thinner. So it's going to shoot perfectly through my airbrush today. It was a brand new bottle. I haven't used this one before. I hold the airbrush back. I've got it at about 21 air pressure today, and try to paint with full passes from the front to the back instead of just diddling around with splotches here and there, because that's the kind of result you would get. This is just the tack coat. After that's set up, I give it another and then a third wet coat and allow that to dry probably overnight before I proceed with some hand brushing of the details. In this case, mostly black highlights on the front and rear bumpers, which is the standard Porsche look. I also hand brush on the red brake lights at the back, soon to receive a white Porsche script logo. Now I've got all kinds of Samet wheels because they're a great sponsor of my channel, and I don't always match the rims with the car body, but I didn't think I'd use these on anything else, and they certainly went together. So bearing in mind that these cars become gifts for kids, I thought they'd really enjoy bright blue wheels. But I have to shave down these little nubs that are spacers here on the original Hot Wheels chassis because they're making my new wheels rub a little bit. So I dry fit them again, and now I've got perfectly free rolling wheels. And I think they look great. Visit www.samedwheels.com for your next order of wheels and use the promo code MAPLELEAF to receive a free gift with your order. Here's a little tip for all you detailers out there. I like to black out the wheel wells so that they're essentially invisible if you ever look past the wheels. And at decal time, there's a Porsche logo on the windshield as well as I said I'd do on the back. And the very familiar Porsche in racing stripes at the bottom of both of the doors. Thought of going with black for these, but I decided to stick with white to sharply contrast this beautiful metallic fleck pearl blue that I've got on. The world's second smallest license plate goes on the front. It's an MLC 190. I have to use my magnifying glass, which also needs to be cleaned. Looks like that. The world's smallest license plate on the back. Look at that. I think those small details make a really big difference. And I did not forget the Porsche hood badge. Reassembly time. Have a quick look at that. It's been clear coated 3 times with ample curing time in between and definitely an overnight rest under the UV lights. The blacked out windshield with the Porsche logo goes in together with the one-piece plastic interior and the beautifully refurbished metal base. All held together with the pre-fit screw, so I know it's going to be nice and snug. After a few quick turns with the Phillips head screwdriver, number 190 is locked down and in the history books now. Does it roll? It races. Let's have a closer look. Beautiful pearled paint job on there with a nice reflection through the clear coat. You have to admit those are a nice matching set of wheels. Maybe not your personal preference, but again, I can guarantee the little one who gets this as a free gift at the Goodwill store will go gaga. At least I'm pretty sure. Lots of gloss, lots of shine, picking up these little decal details. Put your sunglasses on before you look at that undercarriage. Oh, it came out so good. Well, now, the 48 years that have passed since 1974 have left their mark and wear and tear on the 911 Turbo. But it's rolling out of the shop, refreshed and refurbished and looking brand new. You can check it out from every angle here under different types of lights. The headlights are decals as well. The new and wider Samed wheels are looking aggressive and beautiful, and I'm happy I went with that decision. For those of you that have been following the hashtag DDOG, the Diecast Day of Giving, we're about halfway towards our goal of 10,000 cars collected to be distributed among less fortunate kids, and so this is going to go in the next wave of my cars to the Goodwill shop as part of that drive. Thanks for visiting my channel today. Please leave a respectful comment below. Come on back soon and often. It's coffee time.